NOSSA is the Native Orchid Society of South Australia. It was founded in 1977 by a group of orchid growers who were interested in orchid growing. Also, there was a few in there that were interested in conservation. So it's been going for over 40 years now, and it has moved from being mainly a growing group to conservation having a very large component of the society. NOSSA started as a group that would meet and have meetings, and they would share information in the meetings. Today we're finding, with the changing world and the increased social media online, we now have moved into the 21st century, and we have a website which I manage, and a Facebook page. We have two Facebook pages. One is a public one that we just put out generalised information, but then we have a members only group which has more detailed sharing of knowledge that would have happened in meetings now. And NOSSA, I think, has over the years developed probably three key areas of interest, and that is the growing, the conservation and the education. So in amongst that we have photographers. People can have a wide range of interests and yet still find something in the orchids that relates to their interest.
We realise how important conservation is, because a lot of our urban areas where the orchids used to grow are now houses are standing there. So it is very important for us to show actually the public now where the orchids are, educate them that they are protected by law, that they will look after them as well. It's not just that we are orchid lovers, we are nature lovers. We just specialize in orchids. Other people are in birds, other people are in trees. We are just in orchids. But that doesn't mean that we go out and that's all we see. We are just nature lovers. We provide education by taking people out on walks like we have today. We got only one nature. Once it's gone forever. And that is our message to young people. To get involved, realize what we've got, not realize it when it's too late.
I run a business that cultivates native terrestrial orchids, and I do that in a number of ways. There's most of our orchids are fungus dependent, so they're quite difficult to cultivate, but there are about 100 species that are easy to cultivate, so I grow all of those where I can. So I sow seed in my laboratory in flasks, and deflask the orchids and grow them on. And they're grown in pots, both here in my home in Adelaide and also at a property I own in the Adelaide Hills, a conservation property. I believe cultivation's critical for the survival of our orchids, because we need seed in long-term storage, and the easiest way to get that is from cultivated plants. So cultivation is interconnected with conservation and education. So if you've got orchids in pots, you can take them along to meetings or to shows or exhibitions, and people can see them, what they're actually like. They're not like the flying duck orchid. People think that's this big. In fact, it's only very tiny. People who want to grow orchids need a source of plants, and they're protected in the wild, so that's not available. So it's cultivation that is going to be the future, I think.
The importance of conservation is that the green landscape are the lungs of our cities and of our life. And the orchids tell us about the health of the green landscape, that is the bush. When you're out walking in the bush, very important, keep to the tracks, don't wander off the track. When you wander off, you, believe it or not, compact the soil, and that causes damage. The other thing is, do not pick the flowers. It seems like, what harm can you do, but in actual fact you lose the seed source from the orchids. They don't produce seeds, they become extinct. All of the things that NOSSA does relies upon volunteers. So we need volunteers that can do the growing. We need volunteers that can do the work out in the field, where they can go and we do help with the weeding of threatened areas, where they can help monitor. So we are very much dependent upon people coming and just giving us a helping hand. People ask, why orchids? Well, the Australian orchid is a very beautiful, very varied orchid, but they're a bit like the frogs. Frogs tell you about the health of the water, orchids tell you about the health of the bush, and that's something that over the years NOSSA has come to realise more and more, how important it is. So you go out for a bushwalk, you enjoy it, you hear the birds, it looks lovely and you really enjoy it. But why you're enjoying it is because those little orchids that you barely see are providing the information that tells us that the good fungi in the soil is allowing these plants to grow, for the birds to have trees to nest in. They're the things that give life to the bush, and if it wasn't there, you'd miss it and not know why.